You're too comfortable. I'm making it easy for you. What are we doing? Because I'm not getting any younger.
Despite the ups and downs that come with any relationship, Jim Jones and Chrissy Lampkin have always managed to get back together. Once, on an episode of Love and Marriage, Chrissy gave Jim a ring, and they became engaged. Chrissy and Jim have endured taunts for almost 2 decades. New York's hip-hop, a new chapter in their relationship began when he accepted the ring, although not saying yes with much vigor. When years passed and they still haven't jumped the broom, everyone naturally wants to know why legalization is required despite the fact that marriage is beautiful. For a selection of snacks, including our recently introduced chicken and waffle popcorn, visit our online concession stand at rugsnacks.com before we begin prying into other people's personal lives. Motives for not getting married. Since Jim and Chrissy are not your usual couple, they like to be alone, so why should they even bother with a formal marriage ceremony? What changes might marriage bring at this point? Chrissy really brought up this point in an episode of Love and Hip Hop New York. I know folks who marry, get divorced a year later, and produce an adult within 6 months. There are plenty of people who are only thrilled about the prospect of marriage, and we're perfectly happy the way we are. The reality that marriage is a lot of work and can even be detrimental in certain situations is frequently overlooked, she remarked. Can destroy one's solid bonds. She claimed in a 2020 Love and Hip Hop New York episode that marriage would weaken their relationship and that she didn't want to put them under such pressure any longer. Stated differently, this is the classic illustration of if it ain't broke, don't. They aren't equipped to fix it. In a Love and Hip Hop New York episode, Chrissy and Jim show how certain people may determine if a couple is ready for marriage. When she proposed, Chrissy claimed that none of them were ready. They remained together despite all the hesitations and cold feet, but she later claimed that she wasn't ready when Jim proposed on his own during season 2. She described their love as a strong bond that cannot be severed, saying that even if Chrissy and Jim have had to cope with this challenging part of the entertainment business alone, and most people are aware that entertainers aren't always the most loyal. They never get married, so maybe marriage doesn't make them whole. Marriage boot camp, she spoke eloquently about how she was exhausted of Jim turning up at all hours of the day and night pretending to be working on music, since he hadn't really produced any new music in years. Despite his constant presence at the studio, she decided to pack up and move to Miami. After resolving their issues, they lived together in Florida for many years. Mama Jones, Jim's mother, and Chrissy have a really strained relationship in 2020 that has devolved into a she said situation where one side blames the other for their troubled connection. As Mama Jones disclosed, many people think Jim is a mama's boy because of his relationship with his mother, even though they really had no interaction and she was perfectly fine with it.
My mom taught me how to kiss when I was younger. She taught me how to tongue kiss when I was younger.
Like what's the instructions?
There wasn't no instructions. She showed me with her mouth. Like she
kissed you?
Perhaps Mama Jones feels that no one is a good fit for her son, which is why she has a problem with Chrissy. Furthermore, Mama Jones has openly expressed her belief that the pair will not. They aren't ready to get married while Mama Jones is still living, so they get married quickly. Since there are still people who haven't been married, the critics are probably happy that they haven't. Like that Jim and Chrissy are still unmarried after all this time. It's just the same old chat, and he's wasting her time. But fortunately, it's not. It's time for the critics in 2020. A picture of them in the club was posted on Chrissy's Instagram, along with the caption, "All I need in this life of sin is me and my boyfriend. It works for me." Interview 440/451. In a November 2022 Love and Hip Hop episode, she said the same thing to him. Chrissy is shown telling him that she no longer wants to be married and that Jim expects her to be everything to him, including his confident cook and lover, but that he's cold, cruel, and distant in return. As Jim said, he's the perfect companion isn't necessarily, while acknowledging that he puts her through a lot. He explained that it's because he's focused on managing his business, which requires putting in long hours to make money and support his family. In the limited information Chrissy provided, it doesn't sound like a wedding. We'll figure out a way to solve their problems. Moreover, it appears to suggest that Chrissy might not think Jim is a good husband, regardless of what other people or family fans may say. The fact that Chrissy and Jim are still following their own path shows that they are unquestionably dedicated to the long haul. Hey Alexa, Make It Last Forever, written by Keith Sweat. Please follow us on TikTok for more content, such as daily news updates and a range of documentaries. And thank you for your time as always.